Hello EFD squad and welcome back to the Euro Roundup with me and Pat. And today we're discussing your winners and losers from the weekend just past, as per usual, starting with BVB. And this comes from Jack Graves, who wanted to highlight the effects of Paco Alcácer in particular. Why?
Yeah, we've got to give credit to Jack Graves for having a totally normal Twitter name. Anyway, Dortmund could easily have lost this game. They were 2-1 down as late as the 80th minute, but Paco Alcácer got his hat-trick, and Mario Götze unexpectedly chipped in with a goal, meaning they beat Augsburg 4-2. Crazy game at the Westfalenstadion. Alcácer only came on in the 59th minute, got himself a hattie in this game. They've got a 3-point lead now at the top of the Bundesliga after Mönchengladbach beat Bayern 3-0 at the Allianz Arena. Anyway, they're now 4 points clear of Bayern, who are down in 6th, and everyone is on a hot streak at Dortmund right now. Jadon Sancho, first player born this century to be called up by the England squad, registered his 6th assist of the season. He crossed for the second goal of the game, which obviously drew them level. He's now got six assists and 1 goal in 215 minutes of football this season. That's a goal contribution every 30 minutes. Is that good?
The boy!
It seems like it is. Anyway, fair play to Lucien Favre. Their summer activity wasn't great. They're running hugely hot on expected goals at the moment, but already they've beaten Leipzig, Eintracht, Bayer Leverkusen, and drawn with Hoffenheim. So they're winning the big games, and they're just getting business done when most of the other big teams in the Bundesliga are waiting to get up to speed.
Yeah, but that's far too interesting, Pat. So let's talk a little bit about Augsburg, who haven't had such a good start to the Bundesliga season. They were 6th after 7 games last year, currently 10th. But like you've said, the Bundesliga a little bit unpredictable at the moment. 3 points can sort of make you leapfrog quite a few rivals. They've drawn with Borussia Mönchengladbach this season and Bayern, and were 10 minutes away from a win against Dortmund. So still punching well above their weight, and hopefully this look and performance kind of plateaus moving forward.
The process is there, the fundamentals are there.
As is Alfred Finnebergassen, he's still there and he's still banging them in. The club's second top goal scorer last season with 12 in 22 Bully games is bang in form. 4 in 2 appearances so far. So the more he gets on the pitch, the more likely they are to jump up the table. Now, key players in this game, Dortmund's 19-year-old centre-back Zagadou was immense. 3 tackles, interceptions, 2 dribbles, and 6 aerial duels won. So a real physical, well-rounded performance from him. But man of the match, undoubtedly, Alcácer. Only played 31 minutes in this game, had 6 shots, 3 on target, scoring 3 goals. Now, a word of warning, Dortmund won 6 of their first 7 Bundesliga games last year under Peter Bosch before falling off a cliff. Ended up 4th with their second lowest points tally in 10 years. Now, next up for Augsburg is Leipzig, and Dortmund look to maintain their unbeaten run away at bottom-placed Stuttgart. So, table's probably going to look the same this time next week.
Yeah, topsy-turvy season in the Bundesliga.
Finally interesting though, so got what we wanted.
Let's see. Our first loser of the week at Real Madrid, this comes from @gal_Archie2K18. Disgusting handle. And a disgusting performance from Real Madrid, who continue to be shit.
Anyone that replaces a 0 with a K
doesn't even abbreviate it.
Is a dick.
Doesn't even understand abbreviations.
Moving on. Anyway, yes, talking of moronic, Real Madrid aren't in good form. They've gone 4 now without a victory, losing to Alaves. Their first loss to them since 1999-2000, when a young, cheruby, rosy-cheeked Van Straten was heading to secondary school.
Yeah, September 2000. It's a great time.
Yeah? Did you have to wear a tie?
Yeah, of course.
Did you wear it long or short like the Rude Boys?
If you wore it too short, they would just make you retie it at my school.
Did you peanut people?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Good
a lad.
times. Oh,
shut up, lads.
Anyway, yeah, talking of lads, Manu Garcia scored against Real Madrid in the 95th minute, and this was their 3rd defeat in 4 games without scoring.
Jesus.
So it gets even worse for Los Blancos. It's almost as if Lopetegui not doing a good job there. What did you just say? Halfway through the intro, that Mourinho should take back over.
Yeah.
That'd be tasty, wouldn't it?
Mourinho to Real Madrid, Zidane to Man United, and
the circle of life.
Lopetegui to Spain under-21s.
Back where you belong. Anyway, it's now been 6 hours and 49 minutes since their last goal, which was Asensio
6 hours
versus
and 49 minutes?
Espanyol.
That can't be right.
Espanyol.
That's mental.
Well, I hope it's right. Otherwise, I look like a f***ing idiot, don't I?
How long is that? That's like 4.5 games without scoring.
Yeah.
They are bush. This is terrible.
Absolute Kate.
Rubbish.
Bush. Barcelona could only draw with Valencia yesterday, so all is not lost. However, Sevilla, who are top of La Liga...
They're going to win the league.
With, is it 16 points from 8 games? We are talking about them very soon, so I'll clarify. They're on the same points total as Bournemouth in the Premier League. That's all I can remember. And they're sitting top of La Liga. I love it that La Liga and the Bully are a complete mess this year. It's really making for good viewing, isn't it? But anyway, back to the game in hand, because, yes, Sevilla beat Celta Vigo and Atleti beat Real Betis. So they're now both ahead of Real, who are in fourth.
Rubbish.
Wow, it was a 2-horse race about 3 weeks ago. What's happened? Love it. Anyway, their start after 8 games reads as follows in 17-18. This is Real Madrid. 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Goals 15. Conceded 7. They were third. It's not the best start to the season last season, of course, where they had to prioritise Europe after 6 months and kind of paid off, didn't it? And their start after 8 games in 18-19, won 4, drawn 2, lost 2, goals scored 12, conceded 7. So not too dissimilar, which will be, 1, worrying to Florentino Perez, given that Cristiano Ronaldo is not there, and last season he got off to a terrible start, didn't he?
Yeah,
so at some point they knew he was going to come good, whereas this season they were running really hot at the start of the season. 4 of those goals came against Girona, for crying out loud, and now all of a sudden dropped off a cliff when the idea was to share those goals between the forward 3. Now, if one of those guys isn't at least ticking away consistently in the background, they're really going to struggle. So Lopetegui might want to look at how he's forming that attack. Obviously, Gareth Bale's injury not helping the situation, but some other strange decisions made by Lopetegui in this game. Dani Ceballos playing on the left wing didn't really pay off. Didn't complete a dribble and only had 1 shot all game. And we actually saw that in the Champions League when they rotated and lost against CSKA. Dani Ceballos in the squad again, but sort of shunted out kind of wider than he'd want to play. Good attacking midfielder, isn't he? And didn't produce shot-wise. So something is wrong with how they're creating chances, Van Straan.
Yeah, it just seems like they're playing people out of position. They don't really understand how to get the best out of people. Gareth Bale, like we said at the beginning of the season, very, very good when he's fit. If he's injured, suddenly they're in trouble. But I think Alaves away is actually a more difficult game than people would think. They came 14th last season, but they've won 4 out of 8 so far this year. They're 6th. They're actually level on points with Real. They're only 2 points behind Sevilla. So it's not like this is a bull club. They worked really hard in this game. They only had 30% possession, but they had 8 shots to 13 and 4 on target to 6. So they're quite willing to let you have as many shots as you want and have fewer themselves, but they will create higher scoring chances, better scoring chances than Real Madrid did overall, I think. And really, at the end of the game, it never looked like Real Madrid were going to make the difference. Garcia came on in the 67th minute. He only had 11 touches, but he had 1 chance, grabbed the winner. And the fact that this was a rearguard action is really shown up by the fact that the stats that we can see in ex-West Ham striker Jonathan Cagliari, he had 1 shot but won 9 aerial duels. So it was a real shift from the whole side. They've got 10th place Celta Vigo after the international break, so an opportunity for them to solidify their place in the top half of the table, while Real Madrid face Levante at home. Now, normally that would be a must-win, but the nerves are going to be extreme there, you have to imagine. And if Real Madrid drop another one, then Lopetegui could be gone by November.
Ooh!
Mourinho, bring him back.
But what would you do, Real Madrid fans? Would you sack Lopetegui right now and cut your losses? Seems quite reactionary. Let us know in the poll just above. Our next suggestion comes from Andalusian. See what we've done there, mate? Very clever. And it's Sevilla, who, like we said, are sitting pretty at the top of La Liga, thanks to some individual moments of brilliance in this game, actually.
Yeah, there were. And Sevilla have now bounced back from their Europa League defeat, and they're top of La Liga, as we've said before. 2-1 victory over 10-man Celta Vigo means they take advantage of Barcelona dropping points. And it was thanks to the little man again, Wissam Ben Yedder. He got the winner for the Andalusians, recording his 5th strike of the season. It's a lovely goal, but it looked like it wasn't going to stand at first, as VAR was needed in order to clear it after it had been ruled out. It took a minute to decide, which is quite a long hold-up. So still some teething problems with VAR,
Intricate build-up play. Fantastic. I think it's Sarabia who supplies the final ball across goal. Ben Yedder, lovely little drop of the shoulder. He actually starts the attack in and around the box. And I was surprised that he didn't start the season in the starting XI, but hopefully he comes good because there's always been, he's flirted with becoming a sort of, not an elite level striker, but just below that, hasn't he, Ben Yedder at times?
He's an extremely reliable goal scorer. He's only started the last 4 league games, and that's a testament to his form because all of those have been wins. And he's averaging a goal every 69 minutes, which is better than current La Liga top scorer Christian Stuani on 82 minutes. Stuani having another great campaign after last season. After 8 games, Pablo Machin's side have scored more goals than any team bar Barca. They're the only club to have recorded 5 victories. So very impressive stuff for Sevilla. And if they can keep it up, we actually might have an interesting season ahead of us.
Yeah, let's hope that is the case, PVS. Under Sampaoli, of course, Sevilla made it very interesting, at least for the first half of the season, but kind of eventually came unstuck by the fact they didn't have good strength in depth. And that might be the case yet again this season. If Ben Yedder runs hot and cold, if Andre Silva gets injured, if Sarabia gets injured, but they are making a good fist of it for the first 8 games at the very least, and helped in this game by the fact they had the numerical advantage. Celta going down to 10 men after Arejo's 58th minute yellow card, and what an obvious second yellow it was as well. Made life very easy for the referee. Sent Andre Silva for a cup of sangria, shoulder barged him a good 5 yards, totally unnecessary. It was after Silva robbed him of the ball, so maybe a bit of retribution. But despite that, Celta Vigo still produced a decent amount of chances, had 6 shots after going down to 10 men, which might be cause for concern if you're the Sevilla manager. The fact that when a team comes at you at home, Sofiane Boufal was brought on by manager Antonio Mohamed when they were 2-0 down. They actually looked a little bit more frail, looked a little bit more defensively suspect. Now, Boufal's goal was stunning. He ran with the ball 15, 20 yards and just curled it into the far right post like it was absolutely no effort at all. No doubt Southampton could use his attacking talent this season, but it was too little too late for Celta Vigo, who have failed to win in 5 league games since their opening day victory against Atletico Madrid on September the 1st. Despite this poor performance, such is the tumultuous nature of La Liga, they still remain in 10th. But what do you think of the La Liga campaign so far? Are you interested? Are you not entertained? Let us know who your top 4 is going to be in the comments below.
At Daniel_Fields99 has our second and final loser of the week, and it's Bayern Munich. They are unavoidable yet again.
The Manchester United of the Bundesliga this campaign, much like on Winners and Losers, we just can't stop talking about them here on ERU. Imagine losing to Gladbach 3-0 at home. Kovac, Premier deal for the bully. What are you playing at? Bayern fans, your team looks dysfunctional. What is going on at a micro level? Let us know in the comments below. But just looking at this game from the outside in, the XG is 0.56 for both teams. This tells me a couple of things, that neither created that good a goal scoring opportunity. Both teams defended quite resolutely. And this would have been quite boring had some unexpected goals not gone in.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, because Gladbach did ride their luck in this game. They scored their first 2 goals with their first 2 shots inside the opening 15 minutes. The first being from a wide position, worked quite well down that side, coming across Neuer. Maybe he could have done a little bit better. The second one from miles out, going back to the point we're making before about the low XG. Now, Bayern just couldn't create in this game, and that's a worrying trend at home in the Bundesliga, isn't it? Because even if they're not scoring, then they have the personnel to at least create high quality chances. But that's not the case with this Bayern side. 14 shots, 3 on target. Gladbach had 7, putting 3 on target also. Sommer making 3 saves to Neuer's 0. When Borussia Mönchengladbach scored their second, their XG was actually 0.16. So, quite low. Bayern did dominate possession, as you'd expect, with around 72%, had over triple the pass count, but a lot of this side-to-side, meaningless possession, conservative possession, and they were caught cold on the counter, with Hoffman getting 2 assists. He was their thorn in the side. Hummels only making 1 interception, 0 tackles in this game. It's not the best defensive performance from him. In fact, the back 4 in its entirety only made 5 tackles and 2 interceptions. But when you're having 72% of the ball, I suppose those numbers aren't going to be sky high, but it was those little moments that that normally you'd expect someone of Hummels' calibre to kind of be switched on for, that where he really let himself down.
Yeah, the second and third goal. The second goal, he had a chance to try and tackle Stindl, and Stindl just kills him.
Yeah.
And then on the third goal, it was like the entire defence went to sleep. Corner comes in, and it's just sort of hooked over for just a really easy finish. It was one of those ones where you almost felt like the whistle had gone because all the defenders had just stopped moving. Anyway, it's Kovac's third domestic game in a row without a win after winning his first 7. It's the first time Bayern have lost 2 Bundesliga games in a row since May 2015. They haven't scored in 223 minutes in the Bundesliga, which is 2.5 games. That's their longest drought since 2014. And you do worry about this. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've been saying for a long time that Bayern need to turn over their squad, deal with some of the older players in their team. And on this day, they were screwed over by a couple of bad things. You know, players shot 9 times out of 10. That just sails harmlessly wide. Thiago takes a bad touch that leads to the second. So there are things that went against them on the day, but they're still playing Ribery and Robben. And Gnabry was very bright when he came on, but it's still pretty unimpressive for a side that have such a huge talent advantage over the rest of the league. Lewandowski, he's got 3 goals and an assist so far this term, which is pretty decent. But when you look at the underlying numbers, 2.7 shots a game. That's about half of what he produces normally, and certainly what he produced under Pep. He's only got 0.57 XG per 90. Now, that actually puts you among the best strikers in the world, but in previous years, we've seen him around 0.9 expected goals per 90. So that's a huge, huge decline. Next up, they've got Wolfsburg, who are in 9th after the international break. If things don't go their way in that game, they could be down in 7th. They could be 7 points off the top of the table. And Kovac has got to right the ship soon, or at least give signs that things are going in the right way, because at the moment, it's dire, and I don't see where the improvement comes from.
Time to round off the show then with our star of the week, and this suggestion comes from @Cats Industries, big fan of your work, and he's put 4th Kylian Mbappe. 4th.
Yeah,
4.
got
Get
you.
what I did there?
Yeah, got it.
Go on, mate.
Jesus Christ. He scored 4 goals as PSG thrashed Lyon 5-0 to maintain their 100% start to the Ligue 1 campaign. Those 4 goals came in a ridiculous quarter of an hour spell between the 61st minute and the 74th minute. And his game stats, 2 dribbles, 9 shots, 6 on target and 4 goals. He was really helped in this game by the fact that Kimpembe was sent off. I know that sounds weird, but Kimpembe was sent off for a challenge on Ndombele that was originally given as a yellow, went to VAR, came back and was given a red, and it meant Cavani was taken off. So Mbappe moved into the centre. As a result, he got a ton of shots because the 10-man disadvantage didn't last long when Lucas Touzard was sent off for Lyon. So it ended up being 10 men on each side, Mbappe playing through the middle, and Neymar just found him time and time and time again. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and PSG look set to win another Liga already, don't they? 8 points ahead of second place Lille already, having batted off the competition from Lyon already this season. Also, in this game, a shout out to Marquinhos, who played well in central midfield again. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel has made light of the fact they're desperate for a 6, and that's why he's had to bring the Brazilian a little bit further forward than he's probably used to. But 7 tackles and interceptions, 4 aerial duels won, 1 key pass and 1 assist would suggest he's assimilating absolutely fine, at least on domestic ground. In Europe against Liverpool, he did struggle, didn't he? Mbappe is having an incredible season. I'm almost getting bored of stating this. 8 goals and 3 assists in just 5 games, 5 shots, 1.6 key passes and 2.8 dribbles per 90. He is a one-man machine up front. And I think the Ballon d'Or nominees are announced today, the shortlist. Kylian, maybe a little bit too soon, but how high do you think he'll get in those rankings? Where do you think he deserves to finish? Because it seems just like a matter of time before he finally wins one. Maybe another couple of years, but good enough for a top 5?
Yeah, definitely. I find it hard to think of players who've been better than him over the last year.
Especially given that World Cup campaign.
Yeah, only maybe 1 or 2.
Maybe
I think
3rd place on the cards.
I'd put him above Ronaldo over the last year. But yeah, it looks like he's just on a rocket to the top of international football, and at least he's very likeable. He's very exciting to watch play.
Yeah,
he and Neymar dovetailing really well.
His strides are unreal, like nothing I've ever seen.
He's like 80% leg.
Yeah, outside of like a David Attenborough documentary.
He's like Inspector Gadget. His legs are so long.
Right, guys, let us know where you think the youngster is going to finish in the Ballon d'Or in the comments below. That is it for this week's ERU. I've got Star Wars after this. I've got to get fired up. Van Straten.
Hope you get pumped.
1. I'm 0 for 1 at the moment. Talking of Star Wars, how was yours at the weekend? Or was it on Thursday against Zach? And should people go and watch it?
I beat Zach, but it was actually uncomfortably close. I think, did it come down to the last question? Zach's off screen, he's nodding. Yeah, but took the win.
So if you want to see Zach run Van Straten close, go back and check that out. If not, then go and watch Winners and Losers, which came out an hour before on Football Daily. And see you next week.
Bye.
On this show.
Bye.
Sooner on other shows.
Bye. Bye. Bye.